Okay. Itchy nose. Now everything is itching. Okay, let's do this. Hi everybody, I'm Anna and I'm one of the 2 mythical unicorns on this channel. Today we will be doing part 3 of judging books by their covers. That means I've read the first book, and this is the first book. And it is Ink by Alice Broadway. In part 1 and part 2 you got to see why I chose to buy this book and what I thought about it and what expectations I had going into this book. That being said, I have now read the book, and as it said on the inside, because it had nothing on the back, it's a place where everybody gets tattooed and everything that happens in life gets tattooed on their skin, so you can read people. And I thought this tattooing thing, that it was some kind of magic or something that happened automatically, but apparently it's not. They get tattooed by a tattoo artist depending on what happens in life. So I thought that if you did something that you weren't supposed to, that would automatically appear on your skin, but they actually have to get caught and then they get tattooed. So if you do something bad, you can really get away with it if you're just not caught and don't tattoo it yourself, because you can choose your own tattoos to put on. So the main character is Leora. She is a teenager, late teenager, like 18 maybe. I don't know if it says, maybe I just missed how old she was, but I'm guessing she's like 18. She is about to graduate and start her work, like an education for her work. So the book starts about 3 months after Leora's dad died, and Leora is obviously sad about this, and her mom is also very sad and very stressed out. And Leora has no siblings, just her mom now, and she feels kind of lonely because she was really closer to her dad. But they go to the library, and the library is where the books are kept after someone died, but before the ceremony where it's decided if they get to come home again or if they're burned. So after a person dies, there are skinners, I think they're called, and these skinners practically just peel off the skin of the body and then binds a book. So you can read people after they died. You can see their name, how old they were, who they married, when they married, what kind of marriage did they have. Everything is tattooed on their skin, so you can read them, and you have your ancestors in like shelves at home, which is a little bit creepy, but that is the custom, so we're going with that. So Leora and Leora's mom goes to the library to see her dad for the first time in book form. And they get to see him and everything is good, and they are just waiting for the ceremony to get to decide if he is worthy to be remembered and get the book home, or if he is not worthy. Most people are worthy, but if they're not worthy, they get burned, the books get burned, and they don't get to live forever, I guess. So that is like the society they are living in. After seeing her dad, and I think it's the next day or something like that, she goes to the market to buy some grocery stuff, and there is a inking that is public, and public inkings are not done anymore. They are a thing of the past because it's kind of brutal and not very nice, so they have decided to not do any inking in public for a long time. almost nobody remembers it. But there is inking, and Leora has missed that there is supposed to be a public inking because she is very sad and very caught up in her dad's death and all that. So there is a man who has stole skin apparently, which is a really bad thing, because then the book that is made by a human when he dies, it feels really weird talking about books being made by human skin, but that is what is happening. So this man has stolen skin, which means that the book does not become complete, and that is a really bad thing, because then that person might not get to live forever or go to paradise or whatever it is that happens after death when you are a book. But anyways, so he gets tattooed and he gets a crow, because crows are forgotten, and then Leora has a flashback and some bad memories, and she gets really upset and she can't talk to her mom, and she goes to her best friend but she can't tell her best friend anything, and she just gets caught up in all these emotions, and then she tries to push it away because she has exams coming up, so she's studying instead, and she studies with her best friend, and then she does the exams and she's really sad because she doesn't get to celebrate because her dad isn't there and her mom is not very good at celebrating stuff. So it's all very emotional, and you get very caught up in it, and then she gets the results from her exam, and she wants to be an inker and has worked for this her whole life, but now she gets the chance to be a skinner, and she has to choose if she wants to be an inker or a skinner. And then the story continues, obviously. I thought it was really good. Not as good as some other books I've read when it comes to the world. Maybe it's just that she is a loner, she's an introvert, so you don't really get the whole world, you just get her little portion, and there will be more books, so maybe you get to see more of the world in the upcoming books. But otherwise it is really well written. I would have liked to get to know some of the characters more. Like, I don't really get connected to her best friend or her working mates, or there is another guy and I don't feel like she's really connecting to them, or that I'm connecting to them. I would just like to have gotten to know them more, and then at the same time that's very hard because it's people that she met recently, except for her best friend. So yeah, maybe that will come too. Otherwise it is really good, very well written. It's a very interesting concept with the binding books, and I like the tattooing part that you show on your skin, and I thought that was magic because of the tattooing and how it sounded when I read about it, that the tattoos came automatically or magically, but they are tattooed on by an inker and like a real tattoo. But there are people who are able to read these tattoos, and that is a bit magical, I guess. And Leora can do that as well. So she sometimes tends to keep to herself because it gets too loud when she goes outside. It's almost like reading minds or being an empath. You can see, depending on the mood and what is happening in the person's life, you can see different things on them by their tattoos, like they're almost changing by the person who can read them. So that is a bit magical, and I'm excited to see what happens continuously with that. I don't know how many more books there are gonna be, but there are gonna be one more. Yes. So now we'll get to the spoilers part. She chose to be an inker, which I did not expect, because since she was given the option to either go inker or skinner, I thought she would go skinner because that was the unexpected part, that was the new part, and that is often what authors go for. Like, you don't really put in an option, like you can be either or, you've been working for this your whole life, but you could do this as well, and then they go on the path they've always worked for. Because then why did the other option come? But yeah, that is what happened, and maybe there's a point to it, or maybe it's just to show that Leora is really good at school. I don't know. But she chose to be an inker, and that is really interesting, I think. The way it's told about the inking and the stories behind people and how she can read people, and then the whole thing with her dad is really exciting. I think that he might be a traitor, and then you get to follow her anxiety and just what is happening, and you just want her to talk to someone, but who can she trust? And then she talks to her mom. That is not her mom, and the world is just upside down. And I thought the book was really exciting, and I did not expect Oscar to betray her at the weighing ceremony. That was really unexpected. I did not see that coming, and I was really surprised and a bit disappointed because I trusted him. And then there was the guy that she didn't like. I don't remember his name, I'm not gonna check it up again. But he who was a really douchebag and kind of assaulted her, he tries to warn her. He is suddenly a good guy. What is happening? So I really liked it, and there were a lot of things that I did not expect and caught me off guard in this book. Maybe it's just me, but I thought it was really good. But the ending, I was not really excited about the ending. I thought it was kind of meh and anticlimactic. And maybe it's because I've just read a lot of books where there's war and people are getting murdered and killed and assassinated, and there's a lot more at stake. So maybe that is why this felt a bit anticlimactic, that it was all this fight and rebellion, like it's not fighting, more internal fighting and minds fighting, but it was still a lot and was very intense. And then she goes and she reads the names, which is a big deal. I really get that it's a big deal, but then she just walks out of there. The end. And it's kind of a good ending. I'm okay with the ending, and it's the kind of ending that it's okay if there are not any more books, but there are still some loose threads, so it would be nice with another book. But I'm not gonna die waiting for the next one, like tearing my hair out like I do with some other books. But it was still kind of just meh. I thought the ending would be more exciting, but the book was really good. I liked the book. And maybe the ending just feels anticlimactic and meh because she has a plan. Alice Broadway, maybe she has a plan on what's to come next. Probably she does, because there are gonna be more books. So there's a plan, and the ending is important for that plan. Now I just got stuck on the meh part, and that feels really sad because the book was really good. I really enjoyed the book, and I really liked that she made up with her best friend. That was a good thing. Though I don't know what's gonna happen with her friendship now, because she kind of leaves or makes herself an outcast. Well, yeah, we'll just see what happens in the next book. Yeah, let's do that. And I guess that was everything, and we will give you part 4 when one of us has read the next book. And until the next time, bye! And today is part 3 of judging the books. One more time.